I am Tess, the CEO of High Net Worth Academy. In 2010, I joined Harry Winston. Our global CEO just flew to Beijing from New York. He's all dressed and ready to meet the biggest client in Beijing store. The Beijing store director briefed him again. This client just purchased a $20 million 6-carat yellow diamond from us. And there he saw the client, a 17-year-old girl. This girl is 27 years old today, and she is a perfect example of the Chinese millennial, the biggest purchasing power in the world of luxury goods. China represents 1/3 of world luxury spending in 2018, and China has 400 million Chinese millennials. They are ready and want to purchase luxury goods and have the financial means to do so. 70% of the Chinese millennials own their own home, which is twice the ratio of the US millennials. And these millennials with their unique purchasing behavior is shaping a new way for your brand to grow to China market at a lower cost and faster speed. First of all, Chinese millennials, we don't care about physical stores. As one of my friends, another millennial said, I don't want to shop in luxury brands boutiques because it's for my parents' generation. I don't think it is for me because the store environment and the salespeople are kind of intimidating. Well, because we Chinese millennials love shopping on the e-commerce site and we are super comfortable making mobile purchases. Can you imagine purchasing an 80,000 diamond necklace with Apple Pay? Well, we Chinese millennial can. Actually, if you go to New York and go to Fifth Avenue, you can tell that from the luxury department stores to the luxury jewelry shops and the shoe boutiques, all of the luxury boutiques are equipped with WeChat Pay and Alipay, which are the equivalent of Apple Pay in China. And the beauty of that is you can receive payment from a customer sitting in China within a second. All you need to do is to FaceTime with the customer holding your WeChat payment code. All the customer need to do is to scan her screen and the payment will arrive your US bank account under a second. In sales, there is always one correct answer. That is, however you would like to pay, man. Chinese millennials, we love brands with personalities and stories, cool stories. I'm not talking about emotional charged stories about love, passion. I'm talking about stories that only you can have and not the other brands. For example, we love stories about your entrepreneurial journey. China, just like US, is encouraging young generations to be young entrepreneurs. If you can tell your brand story, your brand journey from the perspective of an entrepreneur, you will be able to relate to Chinese millennials in a way that only your brand can. Finally, there is a huge amount of Chinese living overseas, especially in US, UK, Canada, and Australia. They are called 富二代, literally rich second generation, and they have higher average purchasing power than the millennials in China. And they use social medias from WeChat to YouTube to stay in touch with their millennial friends in China and therefore have a huge influence over what to buy and how to buy. The overseas Chinese community is not only a super wealthy demographic, but also a strong marketing channel. They are more influential than a luxury magazine in China. Let's talk actions. What can you do? First of all, ditch the stores. Young Chinese shoppers do not need physical stores, so neither do your brand. Invest and grow your e-commerce channel with your own website and also e-commerce websites in China. And also enhance your mobile payment capability with WeChat and Alipay. Sell to the Chinese millennials the way they want to. Second, have a powerful brand story tailored for the Chinese market. The story needs to relate to Chinese millennials, but also stay very international and classic. You need to treat each Chinese millennial as an unique individual, but not treat the whole Chinese community, the Chinese customer, as a whole separate entity. There's a fine line between the two versions, and you need to outsource expertise to do that. If you don't want to be also sending a press release apologizing for hurting the feeling of Chinese customers like many big luxury brands have done, then you need to source competence to do that. Third, Third, be active on Chinese social media and invest brand assets. Build your brand starting with the Chinese outside of China and gradually work your way into China. Here's a case example. In 2016, I got a request from my friend from China to buy a Canada Goose jacket because that brand didn't have any store in China, yet it has already gone viral among the Chinese outside China for years. This brand didn't have any stores in China until the end of 2018. And the first day it opened its store in Beijing, starting from 10 a.m. in the morning all the way until 9 p.m., lines form outside of the store. At the peak time, the line goes as long as 130 people outside of the store. By 4 p.m., all the sizes except for X small were out of stock, and 80% of the customers said they didn't even get to buy what they wanted. How to make that happen? Well, you need a smart strategy for China market, from social media to e-commerce. You also need a very powerful brand story tailored for the Chinese market that can relate to Chinese millennials while still remain your brand DNA and stay global and classic. You also need the ability to identify, to manage, train, and monitor the different agencies that provide social media and digital comment. If you can prove your market potential among Chinese market without opening any stores in China, this will be a powerful message for investors to fund your brand's future growth and expansion, and even when you decide to open a store eventually. This is the opportunity to tap into China market at a lower cost and faster speed. Under the traditional retail store model, it is too expensive and even risky for middle and small brands to tap into the Chinese market. Yet this is your moment to finally compete with large brands and groups that have huge capital flow and the huge retail negotiation power, because e-commerce is a different set of game. If you're ready to grow your brand and capitalize on the digital era of China, then let's talk.